magical night descended on Batavia. Myriads of stars lit up in the sky, and the moon, full and round, poured its silvery light from the top of the dark, velvety dome. On that wondrous Christmas Eve, a white cutter from the clipper Zabijaka, or Squabbler, remaining some 6 kilometers off the harbor, was docked in the lower part of town, waiting for the officers who had gone ashore. That part of town, with its numerous offices, shops and warehouses, and densely placed dwellings, was populated exclusively by the native Malayans and half-breeds. The area perched on the very brink of the sea, an unhealthy, damp and marshy place that teemed with sharks and crocodiles. The natives were asleep. The deadly silence rang all around. Occasionally, the solemn and mysterious atmosphere of the tropical night was disturbed by the splashes of crocodiles hunting their prey. Apart from the Russian cutter, there were no other boats at the wharf. The sailors were talking about Russia, the holiday back home, sharing one desire to return home soon. That was the third Christmas they were celebrating away from Russia, in the alien and hot climes. Look, a shooting star, and another one. Where does it fall, guys? A young, swarthy, dark-haired sailor asked quietly. Into the ocean, naturally, an older sailor replied in a confident tone. What if it falls on the ground? Someone asked. No, it can't be. It will just crush everything. That's why God drops it into the sea, saying, that's where you should go. Sailor Yefremov's pleasant tenor voice was heard suddenly. That's how God punishes a guilty star. Because stars rebel too, you see. And the most stars fall on this night, guys. Because on this night, the Savior was born. It's such a great night, we can't even fathom how great. And when you come to think that he was born in poverty and suffered for the deprived and accepted death on the cross, our own grief seems so puny in comparison. Truly, this is a great night, guys. He who hurts a child on this night, oh, his punishment will be so horrible. That's what a holy pilgrim told me. A splash was heard nearby. Oh no, a crocodile, look, his head's above the water, someone said. All eyes converged on the spot. A hideous black head could be seen against the moonlit strip of water. The crocodile was swimming quietly a short distance away from the cutter toward the shore, when suddenly a woeful cry was heard from the shore. The sailors became quiet. Someone said, "That's a baby crying. Poor thing, he's bawling." Sailor Yefremov and the mate decided to go check what was happening. They jumped out of the boat and ran along the deserted shore toward where the sobbing was coming from. Almost at the edge of the water, a tiny black boy with just a shirt on was stuck in the wet boggy sand, and not a living soul around. The sailors were stunned. Cruel bastards! Abandon the child! Let him here to die! It's the same as feeding him to the crocodile. Look, he's swimming here, must have smelled his supper. Sailor Yefremov picked up the child and held him in his arms. "What are we going to do with him?" his mate asked. "Take him to the boat, what else is there to do? And then we'll see." There, little one, don't cry," Yefremov said tenderly. "God himself has rescued you." When 10 minutes later they returned to the boat carrying a crying child and told everyone what had happened, the amazement was overwhelming. The boy was about 5 years old. The sailors felt sorry for him. Someone found a piece of bread in his pocket and put it into the child's mouth. The boy gobbled the treat and soon fell asleep in Yefremov's arms. Fair-haired, plain-looking, far from young, the sailor's face suddenly lit up with tenderness. Finally, the officers rode up to the shore in carriages, cheerful and slightly tipsy. "Your Highness," a petty officer addressed his superior, "may I report that the cutter has taken a passenger from the shore aboard?" "What passenger?" "A Malayan boy," and the petty officer explained how they had found the boy. "So what will your order be, sir?" "Oh, well, let him come with us." "Foresail, mainsail," the lieutenant commanded, and the boat sped to the clipper. Yefremov put the foundling into his berth and barely slept a wink till sunrise, checking to see all the time if the boy was sleeping well. In the morning they reported the incident to the captain, and he allowed them to keep the boy on the clipper for the rest of their stay in Batavia. At the same time, he let the governor know and was promised that the boy would be placed in an orphanage. The little foundling spent a week aboard the clipper, and Yefremov cared for him with the tenderness of a mother. The sailors made him a real suit and put shoes on him. And when the police came to pick the boy up just before the clipper was about to leave, the sailors begged the captain to let the boy stay with them, but the captain refused. For a long time afterwards, Yefremov recalled that Christmas night and the boy who came so close to losing his life. The little boy who found a special place in his heart. You've been listening to a radio adaptation of the story by Konstantin Staniukovich, Christmas Night.